what this thing is getting ready to tell me. Yep, we are live, Charles. Hey, y'all. Hey, it's Tracy time. It's time for another moment with me, Tracy T. And guess who I have with me today, this marvelous Monday? The one and only Charles SIMS Jr. Hey, Charles.
Hello, Tracy T. How you doing?
I'm great. I'm great. It's a magnificent Monday. And you know what's making it even better for me is that you and I get to start out this work week together. We have already had such a wonderful, engaging conversation. And I had to actually tell us, okay, hold on a second, let's go live. Because I didn't want y'all to miss out on all the nuggets that Charles is telling me. So first, I won't do you any justice. And who better than you? You know yourself better than anybody, Charles. So listen, first, let me do an acknowledgement to the super fantastic beard ministry you got going on. Looking phenomenal. Hello for the beard. Come on through for the beard, Charles.
Thank you, TTR.
Show them what you're working with now.
Yes, a little bit here, a little bit there, nothing on the top.
Love it. I told Charles, y'all, that I just plopped my hair on my, pulled it all up and plopped it on top of my head. And he said, yeah, I didn't put my hair on today.
No, I did not. I know. I decided not to put mine on.
I love it. Looking fresh and neat. What's on your shirt, Charles?
Well, it just happened to. Thank you for asking, TTR. This is my shirt with our logo of the SIMS Financial Group, Inc., founded in 1988 by moi.
All right. So now, what motivated you to found SIMS Financial Group?
Well, Tracy, I worked for John Hancock for 30 years. I work in various capacities. I started off as a financial advisor,
okay,
went into management. I spent a lot of time in Boston training their financial planners. After I got my certification as a certified financial planner, I retired and for about 3 months because I thought I wanted to retire. And that's not for me. So I founded the SIMS Financial Group because my clients would not let me retire. They were so accustomed to me taking care of them. They didn't come to me because of John Hancock. They came to me because of who I am and what our firm represents. So I will be doing this until they put me into a casket. So I'm not able to retire and don't want to. In fact, you can see I'm working from home now.
And that's the beauty of being in a position where you can, so grateful to work from home, right? But now tell me, you retired for 3 months.
3 months. 3 months.
You worked 30 years and then retired for 3 months.
Wait, what happens? Those 3 months, I decided I was going to travel the world. I did go around the world a few times. I've been around the world several times, from Southeast Asia, our mother country, Africa, to Europe, and so on. I built a house. I sat on various boards. But I realized, Tracy, that what about those days that when I had nothing else to do? I think most of y'all may realize with this pandemic how bad it is to have to be stuck at home. You might have dreamt about being at home. You thought it would be the most wonderful thing to be at home. It's not. So with that said, I founded the SIMS Financial Group because, first of all, I love my community. I want to help people. I'm blessed that I don't have to work if I don't want to. But then again, that's not the ministry that God gave me, to sit around and get fat and die. So I realized, ladies and gentlemen, you can work. But I understand those of you who work for other people may not want to work for them.
Right.
I don't like the word retire. I like the word financial independence. That means TTR, you're not worried about money. Now you can do what you want to do. If it's doing nothing, if that's your thing, so be it.
Okay, I like it.
You do what you want to do. I love what I do. If you don't love what you do.
Okay, so now what does a financial planner do? What is it? Tell us more about that.
Let me tell you about a financial planner. First of all, we're your financial coaches.
Okay.
Now, everybody calls themselves a financial planner, but they don't really have the credentials. I mean, I've had the certified financial planner designation. I've had securities license, you name it. I've had the license and the experience.
Okay.
So basically, you first of all want to have someone that's qualified, and we're more like your financial coach. In order to be your financial coach, let's use a sports analogy. You must understand all the positions on the team.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
You can't be a financial coach and only know about just insurance or just know about investment or just know how to draft a will or do taxes. We do it all. My firm is a full service financial services firm. You can come there. We made room for an attorney in our office who's a tax attorney. She can draw your will. She can draw your trust. We also can make sure with our CPA, make sure that you do your taxes, your accounting. We can make sure you have your retirement plan, your life insurance, and we bring all that together in a plan.
Okay. That's smart. Okay, so now walk me through the process. If someone said that's listening today is like, you know what, I've been meaning to do that. I'm at a certain age now. I have, a stable income, but I'm not really sure how to get started. What would they do? How would they connect with SIMS Financial?
First of all, you'll call us at 901-680-7500. Once again, 901-680-7500, or visit us online at simsfinancialgroup.com.
Okay.
Once you meet with us, there's a 6-step process, Tracy. First step, we talk to you about your goals and objectives. Not the goals and objectives that we have, your goals and objectives. Then we also gather data. We need to know whether or not the financial data you have or the financial back or the means can match your goals and objectives. For example, a young man a couple years ago came to us with $45,000 his 401k plan. He was 40 years old, said he wanted to retire in 5 years. That wasn't very likely. They may be your goals and your objectives, but it's not a reality. So we talk to you about your goals and objectives. We're not dream killers by no means. We're just reality people. Okay, we just like for you to know reality. So you talk to you about your goals and objectives. We gather the data. Once we do that, we do what we call an analysis. This is coming up for the next meeting. Step 1, goals and objectives. Step 2, we gather the data. Step 3, we do the analysis. When we come back together, we make specific recommendations based on your goals, your objectives, your financial means, and then we'll make specific recommendations. If you buy our recommendation, we then implement those. Okay, that's step 5. And after that, we do a periodic review to make sure that those goals and objectives are being met.
Got it. So then one of the things that you talked about, and this is so important. Oh my goodness, I can't stress this enough. I want us to talk about it for a little bit. While I have you here, the importance of life insurance. Life insurance is one of the things, okay, please help educate us about what amount of insurance you need, when do you get it, what's the difference between whole and term. Give us a tutorial on insurance, because I am so tired of having, first of all, I'm horrified by the number of people that have died. We know that, especially in this pandemic, right, Charles? I mean, just heartbreaking numbers, staggering numbers. We'll talk about that later okay. But now, then to see the deaths and then turn around and see the GoFundMe accounts to help, really, I mean, please help educate us. What
only in our community. Well, first of all, if you are not convinced during this pandemic where you can go out and pump gas and die, or you can touch a doorknob, or you can be in a grocery store, walk through some aerosol and die, if that has not convinced you that you need life insurance, something is bad wrong with you, especially if there are people you profess to love. But let's talk about life insurance. You don't buy life insurance just for the sake of buying life insurance. That's ridiculous. You buy life insurance without the need for it. For example, if you have income that you want to guarantee that your family can have upon your death. So let's tell you what we do. You meet with us, just this section on life insurance. First of all, we're going to kill you off on paper. On paper, you're dead. And let's talk about what your family is going to do. Step 1, we got to pay for your final expenses. Final expenses could be your burial, your cremation, your headstone, whatever. Then there may be some medical expenses that may be left over as a result. That's step 1. So we put a number there. Step 2, where will your family live? Okay. If you're currently buying a house, do you want your family to remain in this neighborhood, in this house? If so, do you want the mortgage paid? Right. Yes or no? If you want them to be a larger house in a better neighborhood, what would that cost? If you're renting, do you want your family to continue to rent after you're dead, or you want them to have amount of money to buy a house? Okay, either way, we put a number there. Next, what other debts do you have? You have car payments, you have credit cards, student loans that your survivor would be responsible for. What is that number? We plug that there. Next is an emergency fund. Things happen. If you live past 25, you know about emergencies. What do we need for emergencies. We put a number there so that that person, in case one of those emergencies should occur, in our community might even be bond money. You know how we live, okay? Could be, oh yeah, you got to place that bond. You don't have to put the house up. That's emergency fund. I know that sounds silly, but I'm
No,
a black.
that's an emergency. That's an emergency.
Tracy, I've been doing this for 48 years, longer than most of y'all been alive.
Not me.
Okay, well, black don't crack. All right, so we want that emergency fund. It could be if your roof leak, if you have your car breakdown,
Right.
and whatever.
Right.
We put a number there. Next would be if you have children, you should prepare and have money for them to go to college. Don't give me this stuff that when I work my way through college, they can do it. I worked my way through college because my parents were broke, had no money, never had education, didn't know the value of education. We know the value of education. Do not put your children in position. My two youngest kids just got out. They got master's degrees. I wouldn't allow them to work regular jobs because your job is to get those degrees and get the heck out of college and out of my pocket as soon as possible. Because I don't want you flipping hamburgers at 9 o'clock at night when you should be studying for your exam tomorrow. Why would you put your child through that?
Right.
Okay, that's me. You might have a different thing. We'll get deeper into education later. But we said plug some numbers in on what you think college will cost you. Now we help you. You add those numbers up, you got a lump sum. At death, how much is your spouse going to spend to bury you, pay off their house, pay off other debts, put together an emergency fund, and also have a college fund. There's a number. Then the second part is your income. When you die, your income is going to go to your grave with you. Okay, you are working for a reason. If your spouse did not need your income, why are you working? So what percentage of your income do you need to leave for your spouse and for how long? We calculate that number, tell you how much you need. Now, once we got those numbers, we said, now what do you have in place? Oh, how much money you got in savings? How much money you have in your retirement plan? How much money you have going to receive an inheritance? How much life insurance you currently have? We subtract that from those numbers above. At the bottom, you know how much life insurance you need. Now that we determine how much life insurance you need, what type of life insurance do you buy? Do you buy a term? Do you buy a permanent? I use two things, term and permanent. Term is just a policy like renting a house. You might feel you only need it for a certain period of time. That's fine. I have no problem with term insurance if that's the case. But here's the deal. When you buy a term life insurance policy, you're making a bet with the insurance company, Tracy. Your bet is I'm going to die within that term period. So if you buy a 20-year term, your bet is that I'm going to die in 20 years. The insurance company says, I bet you don't, so give me this money and we bet. The only way you can win is by dying.
Right.
Okay? All right. Now, if you buy permanent life insurance, then the question will become, do you want your life insurance to be in effect the day you die? People going to say yes. Well, then, if you buy a term, you promise to die in 20 years or 15, how many years. If you buy a permanent, it's going to last until you're 120, and I bet you won't be here that long. So it will pay. But it may not need to be the original amount of insurance because you tend to need more insurance when you're younger, you're raising children, you're trying to pay off a mortgage, all the things I mentioned earlier. You may not be afforded to buy that much permanent life insurance. You may have to buy all term based on your situation. But sometimes you may later on get some permanent. You said something about GoFundMe. Oh, grandma may die at 82 years old. What you mean, oh, grandma didn't have life insurance? Well, first of all, we have now left the ignorant phases, hopefully, of our society, post-slavery, post-ignorant, not going to school. We should be a little more educated now. We got to quit living what I call Friday evening people. You only live for the weekend. You got to look past the weekend, look over the horizon, because there's a life that you're going to live. If this pandemic haven't taught you anything, you need to be prepared. There are people being evicted from their homes. Now, as a financial planner, my clients know I fuss about having an emergency fund. You just mentioned about GoFundMe because someone died. You know, you may not ever have a car accident, but you got a auto policy because your lien holder made you. You may not ever have a fire in your home, but you have homeowners because your mortgage company made you. No one can make you buy life insurance. But that's the one thing that's going to happen.
Now, one thing you said that is absolutely true. With the pandemic, there's some lessons to be learned, right?
Absolutely.
Because we know that the way that insurance works is all those factors, but then medical circumstances and different stages of life and different stages of or on the spectrum of healthiness or not, also factor into health insurance or life insurance, right? And so you have to put all those variables into play, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. So what you'll find is that a lot of people just don't think they're going to die. They say, I'm going to get some life insurance whenever, wherever. I said, well, did God give you a contract and put it in writing that you're going to live that long? Okay. It's like wearing a mask. I wear a mask to protect you. You wear a mask to protect me. Well,
That's
life
right.
insurance is the same way. You buy life insurance because we have had enough of our children growing up struggling. You know,
Ooh, say it
struggling,
again. Say it
struggling.
again.
And their white friends are having fun. Our kids flipping burgers at the place because our little kids got to work because we to do anything for our children. How can you spend $1,000 on hair and nails and buy cars you don't need and your child don't have a dime in education fund?
Okay, so now you bring up a really good point. So not to indict anyone, but to implore them that if you have discretionary spending, so we want you to think about what Charles just said, right? That it's not because the money isn't there, it's because we are not wise in terms of being mindful.
Or prioritizing the money.
We have to look forward, like you said, the beyond Friday and look toward the future in terms of planning. We don't know. Okay, let me qualify that. Some Black people and some people of color do not get raised and have the benefit of having some structure in terms of finances. And the other thing that I think is also true, Charles, is most people, when we're growing up, that was grown folks' business, right? And so you didn't talk to your kids about what was happening with the family budget or the family business that was run and what happened in the house stayed in the house and whatever, you had to do to float one thing or the other. We didn't get exposed to that. We just knew you stay in that place. That is part of the whole generational cycle of not being educated and informed, right? Do you agree with
Absolutely. I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I grew up the same way. Well, first of all, my folks had no money other than trying to make it from Friday to Friday.
Trying to make it, right.
That's
But
how
see,
we were
there's
raised.
some families where that's not true, right? Where they're in a position, especially some of the middle class people, but we know that middle class is under attack right now. And what you do with your money is gonna really influence what happens with your children and their future. We don't have this default generational wealth, right? We don't have things where people are setting themselves up now, and especially
We're trying to get that. We're trying to get people there, Tracy.
trying to get that.
Let me
What I
interject.
see, yeah, with the pandemic, is so many Black businesses have actually started and aren't just surviving. In many cases, they're thriving in the midst of the pandemic. What is one piece of advice you would tell someone who has just started a business now so that they can be not just pandemic proof, but so they can plan and have a future beyond that? Because they're
First
looking
of all, if you want to start a business, let's say you are an excellent cook. That doesn't mean you know how to run a restaurant. Okay, you can cook up the best food in the world. Your restaurant can still go out of business. Okay, or you might know how to hammer nails, but you don't mean you can own your own carpentry. If you're going to go into business, you first of all should have a business plan. You need to hire a financial advisor. I don't know anything. I cook myself. I'm a bachelor. I cook. You see, I'm in my kitchen now. I cook. But if I need someone to work on my home, my electric or whatever, I hire someone. They should learn that if you're going to open your business, okay, start with a business plan. How much is going to cost you to even bid this job? Because the guy you work for used to do all the bidding. You just went there and did the nailing or whatever you did. Right. Because you're the best carpenter don't mean you know how to run the business. I'm not trying to discourage you. So learn, right, get a business plan. And also, if you're a Black business, don't get in business and you have not been supporting other Black business. It happens. I've had people, we do internships every summer. We go to Lemoyne, Owen, University of Memphis, get young Black kids, and we bring them in. Well, I had a situation where people who do business with Trump supporters out of East Memphis mad at me because I don't have their kid. I said, take your kid out there to the Trump supporters. Well, you invest your money, buy your insurance. They think I'm the worst thing in the world. No, my money stays in my community. I'm going to help these children and my clients. We're going to do that. Now, I'm not saying you're wrong for going out there. That's your business. But I'm not wrong by trying to take care of our people. See, I'm going to tell you this, Tracy. If we were a nation, if the African Americans were a nation, we'd be the 14th largest economy in the world. We would surpass a lot of the Western countries you hear about. But yet still we have more poverty. Why? I'm gonna name some names. Allen Iverson made over $200 million, broke. Evander Holyfield, broke. Wesley Snipes, broke. I can go on and on. Why? I've had a lottery winner who won the lottery in Florida. It took him only about a year and a half to go broke. Even we fought tooth and nail. I could not stop him from going broke. Because you don't need a whole lot of money to do well. You just got to do well with the money you have. So if you strive and say, well, every time I make more money, I'm going to get more debt. I got to prove to people like the Jeffersons that I've moved on up. That trying to impress other people who care less about your success is your downfall. You need to be solid. I hope your audience know what this word means, a facade. You ever go to Universal Studios, see all those beautiful facades that look like you in New York City? You walk right behind, it's nothing. Do not be a facade. You Tracy T. Road listeners, do not be a facade. Be real. Build a solid foundation and build it from that.
That's good.
Build from that.
Okay, now let me ask you this, because you set this up perfectly for me to ask, because I saw on your page, you and I Facebook friends, I saw on your page, there was a workshop or a conference call or a webinar about this thing called Forex. What is that? Tell me about that. You talk about being able to have some independent wealth and generate and not retire. Is this a way to do it? Tell me more about Forex.
Let's talk about Forex. Forex is foreign exchange.
Okay.
Now, let me give you an example, Tracy. You and your spouse are on a trip. Y'all go to Europe. You get there, you tell your spouse, look, honey, I'm going to get some euros because I want to be able to spend money at the little vendors. But you get there, you find out you were at Tiffany and Gucci and all those places, and that $500 was euro, we're going to do it. So you use your credit card or whatever. And you come back to the stage and you look in your purse, you forgot you bought those $500 euros. And you say, I'm going to go by the bank and I'm going to cash them in. And they give you $750. You say, wait a minute. Are you sure? The currency exchange changed during that period of time. Every day, throughout the day, our currency, whether it's a dollar, the yen, the ruble, or the euro, they change. And the Forex system that we work in, it's an academy. I am academy where we teach you on your cell phone throughout the day to get signals from multi-million and billionaires who have an 85% success rate on what to buy and what to sell throughout the day. You're learning a skill. Instead of learning how to swipe your credit card spending money, you learn how to make money with your phone. So you can't go swipe your credit cards if you want to later on. And it's a skill, not only you had mentioned a little while ago about not teaching people anything. You're learning now how to do that. We also later on the SIMS side teach you how to trade stocks, bonds, and all that kind of thing. But this Forex something that throughout the day you can also learn as you earn. So while you're learning to trade, there's classes 24 hours a day, depends how you work, because sometimes the London late bar might open up in the middle of the night. So it depends on your shift. You always got a class. You also have sessions so now you join. If you're successful at it and you like it, you invite friends. Your tuition starting off is like $200 to open and $174 a month. But let's say you got two people who like it, you tell them about it, they join, your tuition's been waived. Then they invite people. I just had a workshop, a young man, 24 years old, the Morehouse graduate. They just dropped out of Morehouse. One is earning $100,000 a month. The guy
Wait. What did you say, Charles? He's doing what?
He's 24 years old. He dropped out of Morehouse. He's making $100,000 a month. Now, let me tell you this. When I met him 4 months ago, he was at 100,000. He's now at 250,000 a month. Just that. Now, it's not a pyramid, because the person below them can make more money than them. So a pyramid, you never can make more money than a person ahead of you. In this situation, you can make more money than the people brought you in. You can get in this for several reasons. You get in because you want to learn how to trade. You want to learn another skill. Secondly, you want to help your friends learn, and you get paid at the same time. So top two guys in this situation earn $750,000 per month. That's every month. It's crazy.
What does a 24-year-old, now we talk about, okay, so now a 24-year-old making $200 or $500 or $750,000 a month. What do you tell them from the financial planning aspect? Because now that's mind-blowing money for anybody, let alone the 24-year-old.
Well, here's the thing. Yes, we got different departments in the SIMS Financial Group. I specialize in the sudden wealth and high net worth individuals.
Mm,
That's a whole different department I have.
yes, it is. Okay.
And because when you become a millionaire, you have different problems. And the
Mhm.
problem is some of our people become millionaires don't realize they have transcended to another area where you have different problems than you had when you were broke.
Right.
You're now subject to litigation more so than anything. You see these commercials all the time. I'm gonna say Turner Reeves because he's a brother. He said, "Let me be your voice," because he's gonna sue somebody. If you run it back on his clients, he's gonna come take your money. That's his job. That's what he does. That's what he do. So we would help these people, first of all, not to lose your money through litigation, not lose your money through market volatility. Have a will, have a trust, decide with your long-term plans. You can't just party every day. You got to spend some time, set it up, then you go party. So that's a whole different division we work with. Now, you'd be surprised how many of the people who are listening are multimillionaires. When you add the equity in their house, their 401k balances, the other investments, the rental houses, they are in that same situation. And one lawsuit will wipe them out after working 40 years to make that. But they would take probably days to plan a vacation, but it would be like pulling teeth to spend an hour talking to me.
So for the people that are listening now, how do they get, because it sounds insanely like, you know how people say one of those too good to be true things, because people are like, okay, sign me up because I need to make this $100,000 a month. I'm like, get me in. So tell people how to get with you.
Okay, this is what you do. First of all, you got to work to get to 100,000 a month. And our goal has never been to make 700,000 a month. My client goes first about to learn a trade, and some of them say, I want to get to 25,000 a month. I want to get to 50,000 a month. I want to cruise.
Yeah.
Some people want to go to 100. Some, you pick how far you want to go. That's how you want to work. So a lot of times you might only recruit 6 people, but those 6 people may recruit 1,000. You still benefit from everybody they recruited because they are in your downline. You might not even know people who made you rich. They might have some guy in Europe that made you $1 million. You don't know that person because how this thing spread. It's like the Rona. It is contagious. It is spreading. So how you get involved, call me on my cell for this one. My cell number is 901-591-6920. 901-591-6920. I'll send you some information via text. You watch that. I'm not going to call you back. If you like what you see, you call me back because I don't have to push this. I only want people who are serious.
That sounds like some serious opportunity. So for those of you that are listening, the only other thing we're going to say that's more serious than you taking care of your financial well-being and stability and pursuing opportunities is for you to go vote. Okay. How serious are you about folks voting, Charles? I mean, because this thing is real, is it not?
Wait, since you're my Facebook friend, you already know. You already know. Anyone who's watching my Facebook friends, who are my Facebook friends, know. You must go vote as though your life depends on it because it does. Let's talk about this for a moment. So you understand, I am not a Democrat. I am not a Republican. I'm an independent moderate.
Okay.
I will vote for the best person that will represent the country as a whole.
Okay.
Let's look at it. Our country is the United States of America. You remember when my last president, our POTUS, Barack Hussein Obama, I have no problem calling him Hussein because that's his daddy name. Okay, number 44. He said, there are no red states, there are no blue states. We're the United States. Anybody who come and try to divide us, at that point, you know that person not for us.
Right.
We as African American, we only 13% of this population. I hear people say, we need to form our own party. Now what 13% gonna do? We have to join with some other people because we don't have the numbers alone. So well, we should vote for somebody who want to give us something. Don't give me anything. I don't want to hand out, I want to hand up. I want an opportunity. And they said we need reparations. You could give every black person $500,000. I guarantee about one might come see me. Okay? That's not always the solution, just giving money. How about this? How about doing this? Why not tell every black person who go to a state college, their children do not have to pay tuition? How about
Okay.
say, if you're on Social Security, you get a tax credit or you get a bump in your Social Security? How about you don't have to pay local sales taxes for a while? Say you have an account worth $500,000. All these savings add up. So you work, you might not pay income taxes until you up to $500,000. Don't just
Okay.
give a person a chunk of money because they're all gonna quit their job, sit around, drink. Not all of them. I'm not gonna say all of them.
I was
Some,
going to say, Charles, wait a minute now. You're not going
not
to
all,
talk about
not all. There'll be some. It will destroy them. They will die. I have a brother who died. He was already alcoholic, and somehow or another he got his Social Security disability back paid. He was dead in a month, drunk himself to death. You can't just give a whole lot of money to everybody because money is not going to solve your problem. If you already got a problem, you need to solve it before you get the money because it's just going to increase your problem. What are you going to do with buy stuff? And those people in our communities who come to our community, you're going to spend it with them. You're not going to spend it with one another. So when your money run out, like my lottery guy, you back to being nothing. So I say, okay, I'm broke. I need to give me a $500,000 credit account. So now I don't have to pay income taxes on money I earn. Or if I want to go to school, while I'm in school, maybe you give me a stipend. No, while I'm in school, if I keep a certain GPA, then give me X number of thousand a month toward my $500,000 reparation while I'm in school. Okay. When I finish, I don't have student loans. Now I want to open a business. What kind of get help to open a business? As long as you're doing something, okay, that kind of thing. Because it's not like so these reparations can help a lot. And then you must be a registered voter as one of the reasons. You must be a registered voter. Not tell you who to vote for, but you got to be a registered voter. In other words, you're a citizen. I really don't see anybody who do not vote as a citizen, really. What makes you a citizen?
Okay, so now tell me about that, because that you should have been on the panel discussion I had last month, Charles, because I had a conversation with young adults. It was geared toward that demographic in terms of why they vote. Why is it important for them to vote? And you're saying, so that I can be clear, that if you do not exercise your right, if you're eligible to vote and you do not exercise your right to vote, you don't consider them a citizen. Is that what you say?
After that, let's say you're a person, you don't want to work, you don't pay income taxes, and you don't vote. How are you a citizen? How are you a citizen? What have you contributed to us? You won't work, you don't pay income taxes, and you don't vote.
What y'all have to say about that? Come on, bring some.
Oh, come on, I'm not shy. You must contribute to society. You can't be a parasite. Contribute to society.
So what would motivate a young adult if they heard you say that? They'd be like, well, so you don't think of me as a citizen. What difference does that make? What do you do to encourage them to vote and become classify?
Okay, they don't understand. Let's forget about the presidential race, the local races, the local district attorney. Go down in Alabama when they wouldn't bring charges against the Aubrey murderers because that local district attorney. Let's go to Ferguson. Let's go to different places. Let's go the local mayor. Okay, right. Again.
Okay. I said you can stay in Shelby County talking about the DA, but okay, keep going.
Right. So then you want to protest and march because they didn't charge the cop, but you didn't even vote. The other people from out brought that person in office. You had no say so how that person got elected. Now you are here marching. My question would be, if I walk up to you, you got a big old sign, and you say you never voted, I say you need to go take several seats and shut up. You know what up? How are you up there marching and raising all kind of holy hell? You ain't never did anything to help us put the right people in.
Okay.
Of older people, now including you, you're a kid to me. We going to vote. We trying to get the right people in place. Look at the young people on the Pettus Bridge get beat to death for our right to vote. People who stage set-ins at the lunch counter get beat to vote, and you got nobody threatening you, and you won't do it because you want to do what you want to do.
Now, what part of that is our responsibility? What part of that for our generation? What part of that do we need to take ownership and responsibility?
Yes, we should, because these are our children.
Right?
These are children. And my children and grandchildren know I harass them about this. I don't tell them who to vote for, but you doggone better get out there and vote, because you want to be a productive citizen. My job is to raise productive citizens. That's what I want. You want to contribute to society because you got to compete not only on a local level, you're going to compete on a world level. You must work and expand your knowledge so that you can compete on the world level. You know, I'm a member of the $1 Million Round Table. When we go to different meetings around the world, people from all around the world come there. I ain't never been a time where I was less than any Japanese, any German, anybody else. Don't be an inferior person. Don't walk around your pants hanging, all your cleavage out looking stupid when you should be trying to work on your brain and be a productive citizen in this world. Because people laugh at us sometimes. Because we're like a bunch of little people in a little village just worry about how much fun we're going to have, not knowing any day the outside world want to come in, they can come in and destroy us any day. Just go back to Black Wall Street. My problem with Black Wall Street, they did a good job of building, but they had no way to defend themselves. You must be able to protect what you build. And they're going to have.
Okay, so now what would you say that they would have done better to protect themselves?
You should have look, first of all, you live in the middle of the Klan. You could have, back in those days, they could have got all the ex-World War I veterans. They could have created their own little militia just for protection, not to start anything. And those people thought twice about coming in there, doing what they did. We could have talked. They could have talked. We could have discussion. People talk. You point a gun at back at somebody, they talk. You don't have a gun, they shoot.
Yes, that's true.
Right. True. I'm not an offensive person. I'm more of a defensive person. You want to defend yourself, not go attacking anybody. And these thugs, the hoodlums who out here shooting one another, let's go back, let's talk about voting again. They badmouth Joe Biden about the 1994 crime bill. Look, if you got to go back to 1994 to badmouth this man, he must have lived a good life. That's what you got to do. First of all, back then,
the civic service,
Then again, the Congressional Black Caucus brought it up because a lot of our communities have been ravaged with drugs and gangs kicking doors in. So they said we need a bill to get these guys off the street. So these guys came up and said, okay, let's put a bill together. The Congressional Black Caucus look at it. We like it. White folks didn't know how that's going to work. Now, Joe Biden said it was a bad idea because you don't know how things going to work. I mean, sometimes people put stuff in their hair and come out looking crazy. Well, they know we were going to do it till they did it, you know? So he is man enough to say, even in the third debate, that it was a mistake. The other man, 45, he said he's not responsible for anything. Okay.
Nothing. He's not taking ownership for anything. Now, from a financial perspective, what are your thoughts about having the current, I call him the occupant because he's not my president. What are your thoughts about the occupant owing someone $410 or $20 million and being
$421 million? First of all, the president of the United States, a thing called emolument clause. He was supposed to put all his assets into a blind trust so that it would not be anything that looked like there might be some type of corruption going on. He didn't do that. He still run all his businesses. And whoever he owed that $421 million, they have influence over him. Anybody that can sign the law or start a war, we got to know everything about them. I've had people say, well, what about your income taxes? I show my income taxes, but I'm not the president. I'm not the occupant, as you call it. That person, Joe Biden, showed 22 years his tax return. Now, why in anyone's right mind would you go to the Supreme Court and pay millions of dollars in attorney fees and court costs just to keep people from seeing your taxes? And when they were disclosed, when the New York Times got a hold to him, you learned because he only paid $750 in income tax.
Now, how in the heckle, Jekyll and Hyde did that happen?
Well,
so what do you think it was?
I think basically he did a lot of depreciation. Real estate, they can do a lot of depreciation. Okay, which is fine. That's the law. He might have taken advantage of that. But if you remember what his attorney said, that when he paid taxes, he devalued the property when it's time to pay taxes. But when he wanted to file his income taxes, he increased the value to increase the deduction. So that's why his tax returns he been seen, because Cyrus Vance, the Attorney General of New York, and his sister there, they want to see it. So that if they were not crooked, he would just say, look at them. Right. Just look at it. It's going to happen. So first of all, why would you vote for someone who's under indictment, under investigation, go to Trump University, rep those people out, Trump states, Trump's casinos, all these things went bankrupt. Now you understand why they're bankrupt. We do not need a reality star in the White House. Go back to The Apprentice, We don't need a reality. We got problems. We got this pandemic. We got racism. We got our people hurting, unemployed. We got crime. We need someone. I want a president, hopefully President Biden and Vice President Harris, that I don't even hear from, but maybe once a month. I don't want to hear from a president every day about some mess the president did every day. That is not what our president is about. They're supposed to be, when the president speaks, you're supposed to gather your children up and say, come listen to the president. Now you shut it off and hide because you don't want them to hear. You don't know what this fool is going to say. That is not what we supposed to have. That's not who we are.
Significant, right? That it should be something of significance and importance for him to have to speak, or she, or her, him or her to have to speak to the American people or to John Q. Public. Yeah.
But Tracy, go back to the 8 years of the Obama administration.
Yeah.
Man, my kids, every time that TV came out, want to hear what he had to say.
Yeah.
Look at his wife. She was the first lady. Not, I hate badmouth someone. His current wife was a stripper. You know, you can see him. How many people seen a president wife naked? I mean, that's ridiculous. And she only like him. She want to hold his hands.
It's interesting to me too. All things lead back to financial. All roads lead back to finances. But it's interesting to me that in the midst of this, and no, nothing against strippers, but it is interesting that, you know, they raised such cane about our first lady, forever first lady, Michelle Obama, when she had her arms out. But now, you know, that was the greatest offense ever, but we've all made it be okay. Well, no, let me rephrase that and not use all this language. Several people have made it be okay for the occupant's wife to have had all the things that she's had. But now, interestingly enough, bringing it back to finances, I understand that she recently modified her prenup to 45. And she did that in the whole, you know, within that whole window of the pandemic and things. So now from your perspective, what do you think motivated that?
I think that she was ready to leave, and that was another negotiation tool, because the time she picked the right time. He was already vulnerable, about to lose, and these so-called evangelicals, can you believe that they support him? No. And they did not like our president, our POTUS. Well, we know what that's about. I think that her lawyers leveraged him into modifying that because he did not want to leave during the midst of the campaign. If you notice from the last debate, when they walked off the stage, she snatched her hands away from him. She's ready to go. I understand she lived on the second floor of the, not even sleeping on the same floor in the White House. So I'm thinking that as soon as he loses next Tuesday, she's gonna be moving. I guarantee you, she will not be in that White House. She'll be already gone. Yeah, right. She's not gonna stay there during that lame duck period. She's gone. Yeah. Yeah. Now, what you gotta worry about is what he's gonna do during that period of time.
Ooh, that's a whole nother conversation.
And people say, well, maybe he'll pardon himself, or Pence would pardon him. You can pardon for federal, but you can't pardon for state. Right. So he got issues, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, that's why let's go, go back to finances again for those who listen, who tune in for finances. Look, you gotta be engaged in the whole country. You can't just be engaged in your little village. Let's talk about Africa and slavery. Mm-hmm. The continent of Africa, imagine all the little villages were one country with a central government. When those slavers landed on the shore, want to come get some slaves, and we had sent our army out there and ran them out of there, we wouldn't be slaves. You got to get away from that tribal mentality that you have. You cannot fight this world alone. We must do this together. We don't have to all agree. We know we're not a monolithic society. We are different. We have different thoughts. But I guarantee you, we're seen as one in the community. We're seen as black. You can try to separate yourself if you can. Oh, I'm over here. I'm going to be a black voice for Trump. You might get someone got knocked out in a Trump rally. You a black voice for Trump and you get knocked out at a Trump rally because all they saw was what? They saw what, Tracy? Black. You know what they saw? They just saw that. Now, you can be a Republican. As I said earlier, I'm not a Republican, nor am I a Democrat. I'm a pro-black person. I love my white folks too. I got plenty of friends. Sound racist when I say that, but I love everybody. But I gotta love my people a little more because Black Lives Matter. Cause why? Black Lives Matter because we are one in trouble. I think all lives matter, but right now we're talking about our lives, which are the black lives. They said, well, all lives matter. Okay, well, what if I tell you I had colon cancer? You'll tell me all cancer matter? See how stupid that sounds? I'm telling you I got colon cancer because I have it. You don't have anything, but you're going to tell me all cancer matters. So when we said Black Lives Matter, because the justice system had realized that our lives matter.
Mhm.
Okay. And when you were in trouble, we were there with you. So at this point, Black Lives Matter. It's not saying all lives doesn't matter. At this point, we're talking about Black lives. So
I
people
can tell
understand.
you, they're used to me getting on the soapbox and having a conversation about Black lives, about voting, about the occupant. I didn't have to do anything today. You did it all for me.
You know what, Tracy, I'm such an introvert. I have to work on that.
Okay, right.
I'm an introvert. I got to work on that. My clients I have never been accused of being boring. My clients, they almost want to pay me a fee to come see me.
Oh my goodness, I
And we
love
get,
it.
and
Here's what's funny, y'all. Charles and I were talking before we came on, and he said, "Well, I want to make sure you on the radio. When they do radio spots, they don't want any dead air." And I was like, "I don't think that between us they'll have to worry about that."
no, not at all, not at all. And I respect everybody's opinion. So let me go to record. You can think exactly different from me, and that's fine with me, because that's the best part about being America. I can debate with you, and when we get done, we still gonna be friends or acquaintances or wherever we are. I may think you're
You
not
know
the
what? I applaud you. Let me say something to you, Charles. I applaud you for that. I truly do. I applaud you for taking that position. I think that is beautiful, because I can tell you personally that I, Tracy T. Rowe, have had to unfriend people on Facebook and in real life because of their support for the occupant. There's no way you and I can be friends if you support someone who hates people and is a dealer of evil. I just can't do it.
But Tracy, let me step in for a minute. You know why I don't unfriend them on Facebook? I need to be the counterweight. When they put a lie out there, I research and show people how stupid they are. See, if
I
you let them,
appreciate that.
see, if they
I
out
can't
there,
do it.
okay, I know you know your limitations. But if you got somebody out there just free will and lying, some of our people who don't research anything will begin to believe that stuff. Okay? And also the Russians, the whoever had created a lot of fake black profiles.
Yep. Yep.
They tell you what you voting for. Don't vote. First of all, you should look at that person. Do I have my stupid face on today? I need to go back and change. You must think I'm stupid. You tell me not to vote. Well, they're doing you any good, blah, 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 blah. Well, you know what? Some of our problems are problems we made. Okay? You can't blame everybody for your problem. All I know is this. When we elect Joseph R. Biden and Kamala Harris, we have more leverage to negotiate with them than we do with the occupant. The occupant does not need our vote to win. When someone does not need your vote to win, you have no voice with them.
Nothing.
And he's gonna be a lame duck. If you think he's bad now, multiply exponentially over the next 4 years, who knows? You might find yourself picking cotton. You don't know what may happen. You let this man get reelected, because if you reelect him, he'll say everything I got impeached for didn't matter. Everything I said about the good fine people doesn't matter. The Central Park. Do you people know about the Central Park 5? Do you, Tracy T. Rowe, people know this man back in the day? These 5 young black men was accused of raping a white woman jogger, which they did not. He bought a full-page ad paper and he wanted them to have the death penalty. Okay, once they were clear of those charges, not only would not apologize, he would not change his stance. And now he's gonna ask you to vote for him. You also know I'm a financial person. In the Financial Times, we know he said he didn't want any black people count his money. You know that
What? Say that again. Wait a
government
minute.
sued
Say
him
that
because
again.
he
Say that again, Charles. He won in financial.
he didn't want black people count his money. Yeah, there was some black CPA firms that want to be some of his CPA firm. He didn't want them black people counting his money. If you're not a Jewish yarmulke, you can't count my money. I don't want them blacks counting my money. Also in Trump Tower, one of the Trump Towers where they got some residences, there were some black people fill out an application. He told them, get them black people out there. I don't want other people to see black folks might be moving up in here. These people don't know. They are just so silly. You worry about what Joe Biden may or may not have done in 1994. This man doing it today. Okay? So if I slap you in 1994, this person kicked you in the butt yesterday, you mad at me? And I might tell you, well, that was a mistake, and you still mad at me. The guy kicked you in the butt. He still hadn't apologized, but he's
And
okay.
still kicking you in the butt and turn around kicking you in the teeth too.
Now, it all boils down that some people just too lazy and trifling to get out their butt, do what they want to do. That's what it is. They don't plan on voting anyway. So I need an excuse not to vote. And I'll tell you something else. In Tennessee, early voting is going to end this Thursday, October 29th. You've had 2 weeks to vote. Why? Somebody please have somebody come on. In God's name, would you wait till next Tuesday to vote? Look at the temperature out there now. We don't know what the temperature is going to be next Tuesday. We don't know what's going to be raining sideways, whether even the umbrella won't help you. You don't know whether you're going to have an emergency where you can't go. You can't leave work for lunch and do it. You can't, after work, you can be standing up till 10, 11 o'clock at night. You can't say that. You got time. You've had 2 Saturdays. You had weekdays and Saturdays, and you still hadn't voted yet. I voted day one. I know you did. We discussed it before we came on air. I both voted on the first day. This week, you can probably vote within 30 minutes or less. It's not that crowded. People came out there. So those of you who have not voted, you take your children, 18 or older, your friends, even people that you don't even like, bring them to, and go vote. Tennessee may be a red state. I think it's only a red state because we in West Tennessee don't vote. We can at least make it purple.
At least make it purple. Amen. You said it all. That's it. So give everybody the way to get in touch with you again, because you have 3 different ways to be in touch: your website, your business number, and your cell phone for it. So
okay, if you're interested in financial planning, insurance, investments, college funding, retirement, call the SIMS Financial Group at 901-680-7501. If you are interested in Forex, call my cell, 901-591-6920. Or you want to know who I am? Go to my website, SIMS, SIMS, financialgroup.com. And you live outside the area, you want to call toll free, 1-866-687-0790, 1-866-687-0790.
fantastic. We said 30 minutes. You know how long we've been talking, Charles?
How long have we been talking?
For almost an hour.
Doesn't seem like way, does it?
I know it. It's been fantastic. That's why I have enjoyed it. And I know that everyone that has had lunch with us has enjoyed it too. It's been phenomenal. It's a magnificent way to start the week. So you got all the information that you need, and people can touch base. And if they put questions on here afterwards, I'll circle back with you and get the answers from you so I can make sure that we stay informed. But I am so grateful that you took time to be with us today to share this information. It's been great. You gave financial wisdom. You gave us experience, logic, right? Logical, practical applications for things that would make sense to who I call Pookie and Poke Chop. We all got a Pookie and Poke Chop that I
yes.
right?
M. Pookie, Poke Chop, them.
Pookie, Poke Chop, and them.
And you see, I'm a black person first.
Pookie, Poke Chop, and them. Right.
This is why people, when their children sign big professional contracts, they bring them to me because they say you can talk to them. I communicate with them.
All of them need someone to talk to. And so that is my whole point of having Live at Lunch, is to have everyday amazing conversations, information, knowledge, and inspiration. And I think we've covered it all, because we want you to make sure that your financial future is bright and stable and steady, and that you help ensure that by getting out and exercising your citizenship, right? Your civic duty, which is to vote. Charles, this has been fantastic. Hang with me while I tell everyone goodbye, and then we're going to sign out for today. So listen, everybody, you matter to me. Yes, you matter to me. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. I hope that you have a magnificent Monday. Make every day amazing, and above all else, live like it's a gift, because it truly is. I'll see you back on here Live at Lunch on Wednesday.